When iPhone users claim their devices are more secure than Android alternatives, it's security reports such as the latest from Check Point they have in mind. The cyber firm has suddenly warned that countless Android apps are vulnerable to a security threat that should have been patched 6 months ago, jeopardizing hundreds of millions of users. These are apps almost guaranteed to be on your phone right now. Yet again, the issue relates to a software library buried within multiple apps. Ironically, though, this library was developed by Google itself as a shortcut for apps to interface with its Play Store. The highly dangerous CVE 202089113 was reported in detail back in August, a vulnerability in thousands of apps that would enable hackers to steal users' login details, passwords, and financial details, and read their mail. Such an attack requires fairly simple malware to be planted on your phone. Think of all those rogue email attachments, texted links or viral images. That malware then attacks one of the popular apps carrying the vulnerability, piggybacking on that genuine app's permissions to access data on your phone. As such, the new malware doesn't need to ask you for new permissions, risking detection. According to Check Point researcher Aviran Hazem, the threat is very serious and easy to exploit. It hasn't been caught in the wild as yet, but given this latest publicity, attackers will now be aware of the problem, which makes it much worse. A proof of concept, which attacked Google Chrome before it was patched, used a Dropbox cookie stored within Google Chrome to steal files from the cloud storage platform. Google patched the flaw in its PlayCore library way back in April, but a huge number of apps have not bothered to update the library within their own software. During the month of September, Check Point says, 13% of Google Play applications we analyzed used this library, and 8% of those apps had a vulnerable version. So, should users be worried? Yes, according to Hazem. Users should be worried about the data stored inside or accessible to applications. The malicious payload will have the same access as the hosting application. For example, injecting code into a messenger to steal all messages, or send messages on the user's behalf. Or if a banking app is vulnerable, the attacker can steal credentials and even 2FA codes. Check Point also warns that the vulnerability can be used to inject code into enterprise applications to gain access to corporate resources or into social media applications to spy on the victim and use location access to track the device. As ever, a vulnerability with a popular app installed on tens of millions of devices provides a large attack surface for a targeted campaign. This becomes a soft entry point to steal credentials for a corporate network, for example, or to track persons of interest.